Morning, lovely people. How are you all doing this morning? So I had a very clear message this morning that I needed to play today. So I have more than enough work to do, believe me. But I got a very clear message that I needed to play. So I thought, right, that's obviously what I need to do my Facebook Live on this morning as well. So I'm going to talk about today about how we can use play, how we need to prioritise play, and how we can use it to kind of help ourselves just generally, but also to help us heal. Okay. I'm also going to talk to you very briefly at the end about a talk that I'm doing next Saturday that people might be interested in. So that is the guide to living fearlessly. Okay, so we've got various people talking throughout the afternoon next Saturday about how to live fearlessly. So there'll be, a number of hypnotherapists and mindfulness coaches coming to that talk. So I'll talk about that briefly at the end, and I'll also put a link into that talk in the comments when I've finished. Okay. So, for those of you who don't know me at the moment, I do these lives, or run these lives every Saturday morning-ish. Sometimes it's a Sunday. And I run them because I'm on a mission to help high-achieving ladies who at the moment feel like they're stuck, like they're in survival mode, perhaps, might be exhausted, might be feeling like you're going around in circles. But ultimately, you ladies know that you're meant for more. And you're completely determined that you're going to get there, but you don't know quite how to kind of unstick yourself and get out of survival mode and into thriving. Okay, so I've created a program called Surviving to Thriving, which at the moment is a 4-month online program, so it's not location specific. And the program is you get a bonus month free at the moment as well, so it's actually for 5 months, but it's all about sort of assessing where you are now, looking at where you want to be, what your big dreams are, and actually then how we unpick all of those stuck bits so that actually we can get you to that point of achieving your big dreams. It doesn't necessarily need to be for ladies that have been through trauma particularly, but that is kind of my background, and that's naturally the kind of ladies that I'm kind of seeing come to me. So, if there's any trauma that you've been through in childhood or throughout your life, then by all means get in touch and we can have a chat about the program. It's a comprehensive program that I've basically put together because if I could have had this program available to me 14 years ago when I burnt out because of my own childhood sexual abuse experiences, but then all the knock-on effects that had happened. I burnt out when I was 30. If I could have had this kind of program there that I could have picked up and run with, I'd have loved it. But also it would have saved me researching a lot of stuff, and it's taken me a long time really to work through my process, my therapy journey. So it's to bring, my program is to bring all of that experience plus my hypnotherapy and coaching skills to you guys within a much shorter time frame. Okay, so back to playing. How do we use play? Why should we prioritise play, and how do we use play to just help us generally in life, but also to help us heal? So there's a few different elements to play. So if you follow my live trainings, you will have heard me speak before about the divine feminine and masculine energies, and how, sorry, can't get those words out, how we need to make sure those are balanced in our lives. Okay, so masculine, if we've got dominant masculine energies, and by the way, this applies for men and women as well, so this isn't just for us ladies. Sorry, we all need to have, a good balance of feminine and masculine energy. So if we've got masculine energy dominant in our worlds, we're going to be in that kind of place of we have to push, we have to do, you know, everything's a hustle, everything's stressful, everything's pushed, everything's, you know, we have to work harder to get to those things that we, or those goals, to those dreams that we have. You know, that's just not the case. And actually, if you continue down that road of push, the most likely place you're going to get to is burnout. Okay. Typically, you know, around your 30s, if not by your 40s. And, you know, you see that a lot in the corporate world. And I think, you know, I think for my life, trying to sort of push on the because I used to be in a corporate role before this, trying to push on the corporate side, as well as trying to deal with my head that was kind of melting at the time. It just, you know, everything just got really chaotic. So what we need to be, if we can increase our feminine energies and we can get the masculine and feminine into balance, then everything starts to become easier. Okay, you just have to trust me on this one, until we start work on it, and you'll see what I mean, you know, really quite quickly. But actually, if you slow down and get into that space of work, looking at things and working at things from a space of ease and flow, then your things just happen more easily. You're more efficient, you're more creative. And so, for example, like today, as I say, I've got more than enough work to do, but I had this very clear message of today is a play day, and I know that at some point during today, something will just ping into my head of, you know, some creative idea, something that I need to be doing within my work, and it will just be a case of write that down, and then carry on with playing, basically. So it just enables us to work better, really, to work more efficiently. Actually, if we take this time to just calm down, to rest, to have this, to make sure that we have this play within our lives, and we prioritize it as well. Okay, so we've got the balance on those two sides. The next thing I was going to talk to you about is alignment. So if you're interested in law of attraction, so manifesting those, you know, your big dreams, your big goals, all those things that you can kind of visualize for yourself. The point being, if you can visualize them, they're out there for you. Okay, but part of the work that we need to do, and part of the work within my program as well, obviously all of this stuff is within my Surviving to Thriving program, but we will, towards the end of the program, we look specifically at law of attraction and manifesting, and lost my train of thought. To be able to manifest effectively, we need to be in alignment. Okay, without going into it too much, our vibration needs to be higher so that we're matching the vibration of all those good things that we want. Okay, that we desire in our life, and all those things that, you know, it is perfectly acceptable for us to have. You know, we deserve to have these things and to have the lifestyle that we want, and that can mean whatever that means, you know, to anybody is absolutely fine. So whether that's financial freedom, whether that's happiness, you know, harmony in your lives, whatever it means is absolutely fine. That's, you know, it's completely up to every individual. But to be able to manifest, we need to be in alignment. So we need to be in that higher vibrational energy to be able to attract these things into our lives. Otherwise, we're going to block them. So again, this is where limiting beliefs come in as well, which is, you know, the whole bulk of the program is getting all of those limiting beliefs up, out and rid of, you know, so we're not actually going around this hamster wheel of recreating all these things for us. Anyway, so to get into alignment, we need to inject fun into our lives. So it's all about kind of doing the things that really light us up. Okay, so about identifying what lights you up, but also allowing yourself almost to be led by that as well. So almost asking yourself the question, okay, what do I need to do next? You know, this can be any moment during the day. What do I need to do next to what's the next best action that is going to make me feel the most excited about, about life, about myself, and that way we are kind of stepping up our alignment, stepping up our vibration, if that makes sense. By all means, if there are any questions as we go through, just drop them in the comments and I'll come back to them when I finish. I don't think the comments come up on here now. I'm not entirely sure why. As we go through, I mean, so getting in alignment, thinking about what really lights you up, and actually, following that rather than thinking, well, I'd like to go and have a sleep, go and have a nap. I'd like to go and play with the kids in the garden. I'd like to do whatever. I'd like to eat a nice cake, whatever it might be. Instead of thinking, I haven't got time for that though, I need to be writing some emails or something. Make time. Okay, this is how we are going to make some really big changes in our lives if we actually make time to invest in play, rest, stepping back, doing things from a point of ease and flow, and we can actually, as I say, raise our alignment, raise our vibration to attract those things into our world that we really want, that we really desire and we really deserve as well. Another way that if we are making sure and prioritising that we do, have play in our lives, whatever that means to you, and we'll have a think about, what that means in a moment. We can connect with our inner child through play. So we talked in last week's live, about inner child and why it is so important, to recognise that we all have an inner child. So that's part of our subconscious that, is with us. The inner child is part of our subconscious. So we need to acknowledge it, but we also need to connect with him or her. And we need to really listen to what's happening for our inner child as well. So a lot of our kind of big reactions, trigger reactions, those reactions that almost feel disproportionate to the actual event that's happened, the majority of the time that is going to be our inner child not happy about something that's happening in our world now. And it is really key to be able to connect, and obviously hypnotherapy works amazingly with connecting with the inner child, but it's really key to be able to connect with the inner child to be able to work out, where those reactions are coming from, and to be able to help the inner child. So, if we've got kids ourselves, if they came to us, upset or having a big emotional reaction about something, there is no way we would turn around and just ignore them. There's no way we would just go, yeah, whatever, push it away, suppress those feelings, turn away and not help them. Okay, so we need to respond to our inner child as we would, our own children or any other child that, may be feeling distressed. There's not a chance we would just go, yeah, whatever, and walk off. So being prioritizing play is one way we can connect with our inner child brilliantly. Okay, because it's almost like they're like, yeah, you're here to play with me. This is brilliant. And actually, then that connection, makes it easier then to work out, when the big reactions happen, actually work out what's happening in there for us, what's happening in that inner child. And then there are either, our own techniques we can use, or obviously hypnotherapy works really well with it. And hypno is a really quick and efficient way to work with the inner child as well. Okay. What is key with play and fun is to know that, whilst we are prioritizing it, it's just fabulous to think about it. Like if you prioritize exercise for an example, every day maybe, or I don't know, 5 times a week, whatever it is, even if it's a gentle walk, you know, think about play in the same way. It is so, so, so important. It is as important to be able to make that time for yourself. And this is something that I did not realise for a very long time. And, you know, also don't confuse it with the things that we think are playing as adults, like, you know, going out and perhaps drinking a bit too much, those sorts of things. That's what I used to think was fun and play, you know, delving right back into the things that used to light us up, that we just loved to do when we were children. Okay, we'll just talk about how to work those out now in a bit. So this is play and fun is not about distracting ourselves. Okay, this is not what I'm talking about. So we are very good as human beings at trying to distract ourselves rather than kind of opening that door to our inner child, perhaps, or the symptoms that might be coming up for us. So we can quite easily, you know, numb with food or booze, for example. We can overwork ourselves. We can over socialize ourselves. You know, when I think back to my sort of late 20s, and as an example, I just used to keep going. So it was, you know, if I wasn't working, I was arranging things with friends all the time, which was, you know, which was lovely, and it was lovely to see my friends, but there was no rest in there. There was no prioritizing healthy play, you know, healthy rest, and that absolutely led to my burnout as well. You know, I was just overworking myself, plus I had chronic insomnia at the time, so I refused to, and I remember thinking this very clearly, I am not letting the insomnia win. I'm going to do exactly what I want to do for the rest of the time. And, you know, it's just going to have to sort itself out. Okay. So when we think back to, again, the inner child having big reactions, I'm basically going, yeah, well, I'm not listening to you. You're obviously really upset, but I'm not listening to you. And I'm just going to keep partying. You know, I'm going to keep doing exactly what I want to do. I'm going to layer on the stress. Rah, 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 rah. And that absolutely led to my burnout as well. So this is not about distracting ourselves. Let's be super, super clear about this. This is about prioritizing play so that we can bring in like the positive aspects. And actually, as soon as we start doing that, we start to slow everything down for ourselves. So, you know, when we're looking to heal ourselves from particular symptoms, issues, maybe traumatic events that have happened, we want to be making things, you know, as easy on our systems, on our bodies, as we can do. So we need to be slowing everything down. So actually, if we're incorporating play, then, you know, we can do that. And we also will give ourselves a shot of endorphins as well. So play gives us it gives our bodies, our minds a lovely shot of endorphins, in the same way that, you know, if you got high from exercising, for example, it's that similar kind of effect. So, you know, all over, it can only be good for us. So this is not about distracting. It's about prioritizing play into your world so that actually we can calm it all down. We're not incorporating play to suppress anything. You know, you can just let things come up as they need to. Get in touch with me if anything is coming up for you at the moment. You know, there could be, particularly, you know, all this world that we're living in at the moment, there could be all sorts of fears that are coming up for people, quite naturally, because actually, you know, the inner child is freaking out a little bit, you know. So do get in touch if anything is coming up or any of this resonates for you, obviously. So, what I did this morning, and this is an exercise that you can try yourselves as well, is think about how do I play? What do I like to do to play? And also what lights me up. Okay, so have a think about what you used to love doing when you were a child. So think about maybe sort of 0 to 7 as an example, maybe slightly older, but just have a think about, you know, what you used to do, what you used to love doing when you were that sort of age. And then have a think, once you've written all those down, then have a think about what kind of resonates for you now. Okay, so I wrote some down this morning. So I was super lucky in that I grew up on a farm. So we had loads of, you know, space around us. But I used to love bike riding. I used to love roller skating. I used to love dancing. Me and Dad used to dance in the lounge a lot. I loved doing that. Used to love playing in the garden. Used to love tennis. Watching funny films, cartoons, you know, board games. I remember very clearly playing drafts and cards with my nan when we used to go down to Devon and stay. Colouring in, seeing friends and family, obviously. I used to love camping, still do. And then I thought of one that I'd completely forgotten this morning. So I used to love modelling with Fimo, like that, like plasticine stuff almost, that you then bake in the oven, and then you can, you know, obviously keep whatever you've made. So I thought about that this morning. So I actually ordered some for me and my son because I haven't used that stuff for years and years and years. So just go through everything that you used to love doing. I also used to love swimming. So that was on my list as well. And then just go back through that list and kind of have a look at what resonates with you now. So what do you still get joy from now? And just looking at my list, I think, you know, all of that really. I remember the last time I went roller skating, which was probably only about a year or so ago, I ended up falling smack down on my bum and hurt my back for a few days. So you have to be a little bit careful now you're a bit older. You know, kids are falling over left, right, and centre, and then they're not hurting themselves. But yeah, I'd still go, absolutely. So even this morning, as an example, when I was making breakfast, I put some music on really loud. So much so that I went upstairs to my son, who is almost 9, and he complained about the music being too loud, which I love. By the way, I regularly get complaints from my 8-year-old about being childish. So, you know, mum goals, that's what it's all about to me. This is all about, you know, this is what all of this play is about to me. So then I thought this morning about sort of additional things, what lights me up. Okay, so I thought about holidays, obviously, sunshine, love a bit of sunshine. I'm a Cancerian, so I'm absolute summer baby. Music, love music. Love going to see live music. Obviously at the moment we can't do that quite so much, but that is just, I mean, it just even playing music, you know, around the lounge is just, I love it, absolutely love it. My pets, or my son's pets, the garden, you know, being in the garden, being at home, you know, eating healthily, do like treats as well. Probably shouldn't call them treats actually, but do like other foods as well. But yeah, you know, thinking about sort of like, or the feeling that I get from eating healthily, that really lights me up as well. So these are all things that, you know, you can start to have a think about, and start thinking about what feels right for you to be doing now. Now, you know, I'm not going to tell you, nobody should tell you what is the right thing for you to be doing, but just have a look through and just start to, you know, incorporate maybe 20 minutes, half an hour into your day, most days, and just start to play and just, you know, take the time for you, but really, really engage in that play, and just really, honestly, it's just the most amazing feeling. And it does feel like you're almost transporting yourself back to childhood. It's like, I absolutely love watching cartoons, you know, silly things like that, particularly Danger Mouse, Penfold in Danger Mouse, brilliant. So, you know, any of these things, just make sure that you are prioritising play, so that actually we can start, as I say, start to slow the system down, start to release those endorphins, start to feel happier, because you deserve it. You know, life is not all about work, 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 you know, get home, sleep. No. life is about enjoying it, enjoying things from a point of ease, flow, you know, and everything. Once we start to almost invest that time in ourselves, life starts to get easier. Okay, I've really struggled with energy over the years, so energy store. So I know that, you know, an element of that is natural. I know that it will have been affected by sort of trauma, hypervigilance, not looking after myself properly. But actually, it's because I haven't invested this rest and play into myself and into my days. You know, and actually doing that, and taking that time to be kind to myself and nurture myself in the same way I would, you know, anybody else, particularly my son. You know, taking that time actually makes you feel so much better and brings your energy levels up. And also, what I would say is this is all a choice. Okay, so I wrote a post yesterday about your life is your choice, and I firmly believe that. So the quality of your life is your choice, okay, and I firmly believe that, because it is all a choice. You know, you can continue to kind of work, push, you know, carry on down that road, but actually that's not going to bring you the happiness and the fulfillment and the joy that, you know, you want in your life, I'm assuming. You know, it's going to bring you more stress. It might, yeah, it's just going to, you know, it's going to keep everything out of whack almost. It's not going to get you into alignment and keep you there and get you moving towards your big dreams. So back to choice. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. So one thing that I have done a lot of recently is thought, okay, so I'm feeling, so this morning as an example, I woke up actually feeling a bit tired, but the message came through very clearly about play. So I just had this, I don't know where it comes from, I just had this thought, play. I was like, right, okay, so I need to get on board with that today. Today is not about work. I had actually thought I might do a couple of bits of work today, but that message was very clear, so I'm not going to be doing that. It is purely about play today. And I actually felt quite tired, and then, you know, thought, right, okay, but this is a choice. So I can choose now to feel tired, or I can actually choose to raise my vibration, you know, raise that energy. And there are various ways that I do that. You know, there's all sorts of, like, Tony Robbins has priming exercises, for example, that you can do. I put some music on, and I just make that choice now of, okay, well, I could feel like this, but actually I'm going to feel whatever it is, whatever the right thing is. So, you know, it's about making that choice. And I know, I completely understand that either could sound nonsense perhaps, or could sound really difficult. So if you want to have a chat with me about that, please do, because that is something that I struggled with for quite some time. And I used to get quite frustrated actually about people saying, boy, it's a choice. Well, how can it be a choice? I physically feel exhausted. What, you know, how can that be a choice? So trust me on this one. And if you want to ask me any questions or even challenge me on it, then, you know, by all means, give me a call, and we can have a chat about that as well. The other thing I was going to say just before I finish is, if the thought of taking time out for yourself, prioritizing play, prioritizing rest, whatever it is you're thinking about, throws up all sorts of feelings of guilt, that's completely normal. Okay, I would say that's exactly what I experienced as well. That thought of, yeah, but if I rest, if I don't do anything all day, then I'm just being lazy, surely. You know, if your body and your mind is telling you that you need that rest, you need to listen. This is the problem. We're out of sync with our bodies and our minds a lot of the time, because we're just so, you know, primed by society, really, that we need to keep going, keep going, keep going, hustle, 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 do, do, do. So yeah, if you're feeling any guilt coming up with any of the thought about taking time for you, or saying no to family and friends, you know, saying no to seeing them because you need some time to yourself, that's completely normal, I would say, as well. So, you know, again, give me a shout about that. The 4th module in our Surviving to Thriving program looks specifically at guilt and forgiveness. And, you know, we are programmed as we go through life to, a lot of the time, to think that we have to, you know, be a people pleaser almost. You know, we're supposed to play by the rules. We're supposed to do this, that, and the other in life. And actually, you know, that, again, the subconscious can grab hold of that, run these programs for us, and actually throw up quite a lot of guilt if we actually just want to say, no, I'm going to have, you know, an hour or two to myself, 20 minutes to myself, you know. Even 10 minutes can throw up those guilt feelings, particularly if you've got children. So yeah, so we will go through any guilt within our course as well. So any questions, by all means, give me a shout, write them in the comments, or send me a private message, or book. I'll put a link to my free discovery call, so you can give me a shout about the program. Anything else? So yeah, so next weekend, next Saturday, I may do a live as well, but in the afternoon I am talking on online talk about the guide to living fearlessly. So we've got quite a few people on that talk. It's starting at 12:30. And you can buy tickets through Eventbrite, so I'll put all the details in the comments below. But we've got quite a few people speaking, quite a few hypnotherapists, different topics. You know, we'll have a spiritual element to things as well. So by all means, come along. It's open to men and women. So yeah, so just if you're interested, do come along. You know, there's been a lot of fear in society that's been kicked off recently. So if you're wanting to know how to deal with that more effectively, if you want, you know, just to actually get out of the cycle of anxiety and living in fear, whatever your reason, then take a look, and we will hopefully see you next weekend. So any questions, folks, do let me know, and thank you for joining, and I will see you soon. Hopefully I will do another live next weekend. Yeah, we'll see how it pans out, but hopefully I can catch up with you next weekend. If not, I will definitely be back the week after. So have a lovely weekend, everybody. Lots of love, and speak to you soon. Take care.